evolve fire outbreak in your various homes and other facilities. So let me say welcome back to the Bumper Show, the very last segment, and we be talking about water, sanitation, and hygiene on this last segment of the program. And just to let our people in Maryland County, that's in Maryland County, people, Sullivan District, to know that we right now have in studio your district representative, Anthony Williams. He has been appointed as the chair of the House's Committee on Water, Sanitation, Hygiene, and Environment. He's here. In fact, that's the very latest committee there at the House of Representatives. And we also have in studio a civil society actor. He is the head of the Water, Sanitation, and Hygiene. That's the WASH Legislative Caucus Secretariat. He's Timothy Clare. He's also here this evening, and together we'll be talking about WASH issues. Let me say, gentlemen, welcome to the Bumper Show.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much too for the introduction. I'm happy to be here this evening.
And let me say congratulations, Honorable Williams.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, I want to start up this discussion with the man who, knows more about the sector, and that's the head of the WASH Legislative Caucus Secretariat there at the National Legislature, the civilian part of the lawmakers. And you people push so much to make this happen, and now at least we have a standing committee at the House of Representatives. When this committee was announced, how did it come to you, Tim?
Well, thanks for the opportunity as usual, and we are grateful to be here for the first time. To sit in the studio with the legal representation of WASH at the legislature. It's a great opportunity for us as civil society, as citizens, and as partners in this country. And we are very, very grateful to our partners who continue to support the work of civil society in this country, most especially talking about Water A and other partners who continue to support the work of civil society. This has been a long-awaited advocacy agenda for the country as a whole. Even international communities are looking up to Liberia over the years. So we started with the submission of the bill in 2012. And then in 2016, we formed this interest group, and we call it the WASH Caucus. Just recently, now, what we've been looking for over the years, we just achieved that by having a standing committee on WASH. What that means is that you now have a direct oversight on the sector. And the issue of overlapping of functions, laws are in conflict with each other, the issue of budgetary allocation, those issues now we have a place to go, and that's why we are so grateful to be here and in this studio with our honorable chair. So today I will be taking notes, and interestingly, he is so much aware of this sector, and when you were to ask Honorable Williams the kind of information you will receive when we first met with him after he was pronounced by the speaker. I was just sitting, and some of the things I never heard before, he began to explain. I said, wow, but then we are in the right place. So it's a great opportunity. And thanks to all of the caucus members who made this dream come true, and the entire leadership of the caucus. We are very, very happy to have now a legal body that will speak on behalf of the people, that will take action on behalf of the people. And he never told sick, and he started taking action, and you will hear a lot of development as of today. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, so and let me say congratulations again, Honorable Williams, for your appointment to the chairmanship of this committee. What mandate now you have as the chair of this committee? What is this committee established to do as the committee on WASH and environment?
Well, thank you very much, and for giving us the opportunity to be able to talk to our people. And I want to say thanks to Tumide, Tumide, who has been very much instrumental in making sure that this identical debate was born. I want to take this time first to speak to my people in Maryland County, precisely Plebo Solocan District, number 2, and the people in the Southeast and the Labyrinth people at large, for us giving us the opportunity to come and serve them at the level of the National Legislature, for which today we have been preferred by the Speaker to be able to serve on this committee. I I would like to take you back a little bit. The wash, like Timothy was trying to articulate to you, it was the kind of institution that is very much vital. A lot of people really wanted to see how they could make it to be very strong. So the teachers since 2016, they've been working it out, but they've been having the caucus. The caucus is something that is cross-cutting. You don't have a direct mandate. And then they struggle with the caucus, until the 55th came in. Then when we got in, thanks to Goswa, he had been one of the force behind the caucus, but he was finding it difficult because there was no legitimate committee at the level of the National Legislature. So when I came, the paper came late because I spent almost 5 months in courts, and he Goswa to also spend almost similar months there. So when we came together, he also passed it by me and said, "You come from the civil society background and from the youth and student background. There's their committee that is very much important. I want you to take a look at it." And then now you are now on a committee. So when I look at it, I saw water, I saw sanitation, I saw hygiene, I saw environment. I said, but this issue borders around the survivability of our people. So here and I took the importance and relevance of the committee to the speaker, and we were to lay down the issues as important to what the speaker saw the need, and then he asked us to do the term of reference in terms of what we'll be doing, and then we submitted the term of reference to the speaker. Then at the end of the day, the speaker, the deputy speaker, and then they all said that's a good term of reference. And then the next time we put it on the agenda, and when we convince our colleague, because at the National Legislature, you don't just put instrument on the floor. If you say we pass, no, you got to do a back door or a back camera, lobbying behind the scene. Then when they get on the floor, at that time they have understand a clearer picture about what is about to take place. So we did that, and we were able to let our colleagues know. And thanks to Goswa again, vast majority of the lawmakers have signed on to the legislative caucus. So they were almost a card-carrying member of a caucus, but they were not member on the committee. So when they saw the information on the floor that we wanted to establish now a legal standing committee that will be directly engaged with partners, government parastatals that involved into sanitary condition or environmental issues, they were so happy. And overwhelmingly they voted. When they voted for it, the next time the speaker came and announced on April 9, 2024, that now I was appointed as the direct representative of the committee, which of course I give glory to God, and then to the people of Plebo Solocan District and the speaker and Tumete as well, and Thomas Goswa. Now you asked for our mandate. Our mandate is to be able to look at government institutions that are involved into this issue about water, sanitation, environment, and hygienic situation. So people look at it as to whether the fundings that donor partners invest into some of these institutions, as to whether they are value for money. That's one. If even the government herself put this institution, put money there for these things, we don't know as to whether the money that is put in there, as to whether it is adequately used for the actual purpose for which it was being allotted. Because these donor partners and team, they put in money into the government institutions and other institutions. They don't have that political will to question it at a certain level. So they were also finding it difficult. That look, when we invest in the LWSC, for example, Labyrinth Water and Sewer, if the Labyrinth Water and Sewer is not doing the actual minutes for which the money was given to them, for how can we really handle them? Well, we are partners. We are not into the political space. So they themselves were finding a way around. How can they have a kind of a standing committee that will be representing the people? Because the interest of the partner is to see the people benefit. Because they take into consideration goal number 6 of the development goal, and that they leave no one behind. So if they are investing into water, for example, what is the rule of the LWSC, like water and sewer? If they invest into sanitation, what is the role of the Ministry of Health and on the other institute? When they invest into environment, what is the role of the EPA? Are they doing it? Are they getting value for money? So that was one of the concerns. So as soon as the committee got started, immediately, I never knew that how the partners to themselves, they were very in need of this committee. because their funding that was being disbursed to institutions, they really wanted to have a reporting system and a kind of M&E process on the fundings. So when the committee was created, they hit to my office immediately because I got LWSC on me, which is Liberia Water and Sewer. The Ministry of Health is also working with me. I'm working with them. I have an oversight with the Ministry of Health. I have an oversight with the Ministry of Public, where they got rural water is there. I got oversight over the Environmental Protection Agency, which is EPA, and I have almost all of these people, even some mineral water companies that provide mineral water for our people. The facility need to be assessed to know as to whether they are in line with the sanitary, policies and regulations of our country. So we also cover all of the sectors, because water is very important. So because of that mandate, so when I took over the partners pull into my office, I was like, what is happening? They say, we long been looking for this committee, because at first we were having a caucus, but now there's a committee and you have an oversight with regards to these government institutions that will give them funding, that will do our own project. We want to open your eyes to some of these, problems that we've been facing, and we need the support in that. And then I said, what was the problem? They came, they explained to me, and then there was some other abandoned projects that were being constructed by the African Development Bank, the AFDB. They were that in New Georgia, district number 4, and that of the district number 13. Yeah. And then when they met me, the secretary also came and briefed me about that. They were also concerned, because if the partner invest into an infrastructure, they want to know as to whether the people for which the investment was done as well, they are accessing these facilities. So at the end of the day, the partner got to realize that they pump in the money, almost over millions of dollars, into district number 4 and into district 13, and then the people for whom they invested the amount, they were not being utilized. So they thought that it was a waste to them, and they informed the secretary, and the secretary at that time had no direct what we call leadership or committee to do that. So immediately when I took over, Tumeto was so impressed. It's like his dream has come true. Like while the partners do, their dream has come true. And then luckily for them, the person who was also within the sector comes from the same civil at the background. So when they explained to me about the constraint with regard to the LWSC, immediately as the Deputy Director General for Technical Services, contact the lawmaker for District number 4, my good friend and brother Marcus Thomas, and then the lawmaker for District number 13. And I told them, said, this is the issue. The partner has invested money in almost over millions of dollars into the project that at the level of the District 4 and District 13. We would like to take a tour to see that, because water is life. In the absence of water, and the sanitary conditions is not good for our people. So we'll take a walk, and then
is it the same project that Timothy and his organization been running after a few years ago?
Yes, that's the same project you're talking about. Yeah. So immediately when he took over, we were able to inform the office on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
talk about that project.
So we left when Tumete, when they briefed me in the secretary and that of the partners, because they were concerned, because in these processes you got to know what the partners that buttress you got to know what they really want, because so that they can continue helping our people. So when they brought our attention, we decided to move into District 4 and move into District 13. And then what exactly that was picture to me by the partners and as well as the secretariat and here, which is Tumete. When we got in District number 4, I could not believe it that partners had invested such of money in District number 4, a water plant almost like a small wet plane to give the whole District number 4 water. They also constructed latrines. They constructed latrines all around. They constructed pumps around the place, but all of these facilities were being shut down, all because of simple arrangement between the government, the past government, and the community dwellers. Just one for example, why is it the thing is not being used? That was the question. Why are you people are not using this facility that's being constructed by the African Development Bank, and people use that money for our people? Why is it the latrines are not being used? Almost 14 constructed. They got a pump there, they got the big water tower, all of the pipes are on ground, all of the chaos are planted all in the communities, meaning the pump, the faucet, all of what they call the chaos, not make it very, you understand? So it had not been used. So we got there, the community chairman, the entire community were impressed with the came to us, he know our needs and also need again. So everybody came around and we were to tell them, say, we are here to be able to ask the LWSC what is happening. And the Deputy Director General for Technical Services, at that time, like, he was working with the partners. So he had a clearer picture about the whole agreement within this community. For example, one of the things that we discovered was that this community gave their pieces of land to the people to construct some of the chaos, meaning they hand pumps, and maybe somebody will not understand the chaos. I just give you. So the chaos meaning some of the hand pumps to construct them in the community, but they in the past administration at LWSC went into an agreement, say, look, we will give you the piece of land as a community, you pay $400 US for the piece of land. And so the community agreed, like, for you got the land as a private land, you give it just because of the community, and then they construct the latrine on it, but it's a short piece of land, out of 400 or for 300 or for 700, whatsoever price they agree on. So the partners is there watching that as to whether you, who the government, will fulfill that identical promise to the people. So then after,
so the government, I mean, the partner invested this because it was the 40 million project.
Yeah, 40 million project.
So the government, I mean, the partner, the AFDB invested this, and it was left with government to provide,
to play that part.
This 400 that you're talking about
to the community,
to the community people.
Sure. So so that was the problem between us. So the government could not pay the community dwellers for the piece of land that was given to them.
Everybody lacked the toilet.
So at the end of the day, the toilet was being lacked. So you see the way the NGO or the international organization work was, if they are passing road within your community, they will tell you, we'll pave the road for you. You will be responsible for the houses that are on the road. Break them down and pay the people money before we start the road. If you don't pay people money, they will not start a road. You got to know that you clear all of these people before they can do that work, because they don't want any hindrance in the process. So when the African Development Bank and other partners got to realize that the facilities are there and they don't want to use it, when we get to the community people told us that, look, this is some of the comment. In fact, one of it says a reverend, he locked the place. He said the place is on his land. They have not paid him money, and he cannot give it to the community because they misinformed him. So he was not going to do it. So because of that, we were able to call the community leadership, talk to them. They say, look, this is a new leadership into place, and then you see us here. The secretary has been, very, very much, disturbed about this project. Likewise, the partners themselves, and now we are here. You look up to us. You and that of the ministry, or the Labor, Water and Sewer, can get into a payment plan or a schedule to be able to pay whosoever that they are indebted to you. And then the community was so magnanimous enough, and then they agreed to it. And then immediately on the spot, the Deputy Director for Technical Service, I want to say, at the Siddiqui, I want to say thanks to him, but very instrumental. And he said, as of tomorrow, once the community have agreed, tomorrow we send our men on the field. Your secretary, Mr. William, your secretary will work with them. Immediately we start to pump the water tomorrow so that the people can have water in
because
district
that's the question I wanted
to
ask, whether the people in district number 4 are now receiving water.
Yeah, so to speak to that, and thanks so much to our chairman, and that's why we from civil society have been talking about, because when the people who has power to make change, when they get involved into the process, you find the difference. So when the visitation was done on the 1st of May, we were promised by the LWSC that as of the 2nd of May, they will start to pump water. On the day of the visitation, the deputy managing director instructed the LWSC staff to cut off those companies, those individuals that were receiving water while the community was denied water. Those land were cut off, and then they were instructed to pump water. That community, in fact, the 2 areas we visited, they don't need to get water from wet plain. Those wells that are constructed in that place, it will provide water 24 hours around the clock. So that's why it is very important that you have the leader take ownership. The issue of political leadership is what we need in the sector. Donor has continued to invest finances into the sector years upon years. Our current statistics prove that over 98% of financing to the sector come from international partners. And you know what? Those finances or those funding opportunities are not sustainable when you don't have the government taking leadership. This regime and this structure we have now, where you have a legal structure at the legislature, the narrative will change, and that's what we begin to see now. On the 2nd, we place a call, a secretarial member. In fact, on our same 2nd, the chair has written LWSC management that while it is true that you have made all promises while we were there, but we need a written document that will show to us that you are ready to really implement. They also promise that in 35 working days, those latrines are going to be restructured, and the secretary will work with them to strengthen the governance structure. Who manages those latrines? Are they going to be paid for latrine? So these are the management structure that we're going to put in place to make sure that those facilities are sustainable and do not appreciate what investment they made into the sector. So just to answer that question, yes, we were told by the community, not the LWSC, but by the community that water, that very day they pump water, but because the pipe are dirty, because long time they are not been using that since 2015 up to current. So there were too much of dirt and other things. So they pump the water, but it was not for use. As of the end of this week and next week, we'll be doing, the secretary will take a tour again to do a photo or while we await the submission of their recovery plan, so that the chair and the rest of the member to be able to work on that. Yeah.
And I just want to come back to the chair, because the issue of budgetary allotment for the WASH sector has been an issue. I know you are already aware of that. This budget is passed already. I'm not sure we will be discussing it again. Sure. But looking at the future budgets, right? Your role, your committee will be very, very critical to ensure that this much talk about support that government can give as their marching order to the whatever will come from donors will be very, very important. Do you think you can succeed in that direction to increase budget for WASH in Liberia?
Let me just say yes. I'm like I say, I have a financial background, and then we play some role in this just in that budget. It's just that the WASH institution that just yesterday somebody sent me a photo, and then they legalized the leadership at the level of the WASH commissions. The guy just took over. Okay. So, but during the budget, I will call discussion, he was not around, so you could not understand what actually was their perspective aspect. They settle in which line they wanted to push. So, like you said, the next budget, before we get to July, the next budget will start to formulate. We can make sure that the WASH will have something inside, because everything we're talking about, we're just doing WASH. All of us about what the guys are talking about. Are they talking about clothes, or are they talking about or clean? So we are talking about water. We are talking about water. We are talking about sanitation. We are talking about the environment. We are talking about those things that all they just call a WASH. That's what it's called, WASH. So that water thing. So if you look at our current statistics, almost 25% of our populations don't have access to safe drinking water. You understand what I'm saying? So the WASH Commission is close with that authority to be able to make sure that some of these things work. So if you have over 25% of our population don't have access to safe drinking water, it means that there are money need to be placed in the budget for WASH to be able to do some of the things to address it, because there's the parable that say while they are washing your bag, you should also wash your front. So if the government if donors is giving almost over 98% of the fundings come from the donors community, you the government 98, 99, 100, you want to be getting another 2 for the donors to get motivated. So that would be our argument for the next budget that be coming,
or maybe even much higher than that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if we say 98% from the donors, so it means you government, you get more than even 2%, in there. So
what percent you think you will be pushing for?
No, the budget, whatever the budget comes before you, the institution will give you priorities in the budget. So right now they just speak, say, oh no, increase WASH budget on what basic. And also I'll look at detail, like when I was arguing for the health sector budget to be increased, I was informed that the only way you can increase the health sector budget is that you got to look at the patient load, meaning the number of patients that turn out to a facility. 2, you got to look at the fuel consumption from an ambulance. 3, you got to look at the fuel consumption from the facility itself, the staff, or the modernization of the facility. So when I'm arguing, I know when I so from this point, we will make sure that the WACS receive something for the 2025 budget. But at that time, and the current administration will have digested the entire priorities of the institution which want to address. In some level of financing will be able to do it. But I can assure you, with my presence on the the legal president on the committee as a chair, with my friend Goswat is there. The WACS budget next year will be a budget, to look at, because it's borders around water, and then we will not want to violate, goal number 6 of the Millennium Development Goal, which is leave no one behind in terms of water and all of these things.
Okay.
And Jack, just to talk about the budget issue, some of those interventions, it doesn't really require the government spending real money. Let's take, for example, right? The African Development Bank spent 40 million. On WACS projects that are a banner. Now, with the recent move by the lawmakers, the legitimate arm of that body, because of that, those facilities that were spent money on that were now functional. As I speak to you now, they are in the process of making those facilities functional. So you see the role the government play. So the legislature, they will be debating the budget and making sure that money gets into the budget, but they are going to be very key. And that's why we, the secretariat member, will be working with all the institutions to ensure that there is value for money. He talked about that. If the committee will be advocating for increasement in the budget for the WACS Commission, then we need to look at the salary structure of the commission. We need to look at the deliverables of the commission. What are we spending the money on? If we can justify that the letter we receive, we are making progress, then you give the committee the opportunity to convince the colleagues, most especially the speaker and the deputy speaker, to pay attention to the water and sanitation sector, because, my brother, you cannot live one day without water. Can you imagine? So that concerns everybody. So their political move, and their engagement with the partner and the government, those things will also add value to the sector to ensure that there is value for money. Recently, they just instructed the secretariat, and we called together all the agencies to present while the budget process was ongoing. Present what do you have for WACS. And interestingly, most of the institutions that presented, nothing was mentioned for water and sanitation in that budget. How do you expect the sector to go forward when you have ministry and agencies that have the legal mandate to implement WACS programs in the country? They don't even consider WACS in that budget.
And still talking about this project, right? You have ensured now that the one in Soclinde District number 4 will be up and running. The one in District 13. But a reminder that this project was also extended to other parts of the country. We have Buchanan, you have Zweju, who are all, beneficiaries of this project. What information do we have about those two, areas?
Yeah. Like you said, in fact, Maryland is included in the project. The Deputy Director General for Technical Services told me about Maryland.
Okay.
So what we did, because of the now legal committee that is at the level of the national legislature that we chair, the Deputy Director General is very, very much passionate. He comes from an NGO background, so he knows what the donors want and what they like and what they want to see. So he's passionate about this whole water thing. It's beyond human imagination. So immediately when he and I were working, he said, hey, thank God, at least I have somebody at the level of the national legislature who also have the similar passion like I do. So Mr. Representative, I would like to work with you so that we can make sure some of the facilities in Buchanan, we got some facilities in Buchanan, want to go do an assessment there. But in doing the assessment, we need the political will. And with your committee now, will you like to follow us to go to some of the places and that way? For me, I possess no objection in as much it comes to the happiness of our people, the production of water, the eradication of open defecation. I will also be willing to do that. So we are in the conversation, and I just asked him to come to me Monday. And he called me by Monday 1 o'clock. He will come to my office to discuss about the travel to Grand Bassa, to Nima, and then to how you call Grand Gile as well. For Grand Gile, then we'll have a plane or train and we'll go to Maryland to go see all of the assessment for the water, something to take place.
We don't. Okay, you want to just say something last?
Yeah. So I just want to say another thing again on open defecation. You know, sometimes the partners open defecation mean there's no bathroom, there's no latrine. Anywhere you can go and freeze yourself. That's one of the serious problems in this country right now, and the parents are also concerned about open defecation. But I have told them that it is true. Open defecation is something that we need to talk about. But vast majority of the open defecation activities it take place in the rural area. You know, for example, all of the houses in Mobile, some of them got inside bathroom, they got so many things. But if you go in places like Maryland, Grange, Sino, almost all of the open defecation activities are taking place there because there's no bathroom there. And when the open defecation take place, the rainy season is coming, the erosion take them into the water. When it takes them into the water, at the end of the day, our people are still drinking the same water. So it also causes health hazard, it causes malaria, it causes many things. So I've asked the parents, we need to make sure that in addressing open defecation, we need to go into the rural county, the Leeward county that some of us come from, because we know what is happening there.
Okay. All right. We don't have much time. But I will close the program up by maybe taking you know, one or two last comments from you guys. Tim, let me begin with you.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a dream come true for the people of Liberia and our international partner. We appreciate them so much, most especially our partner that continue to support the activities of civil society, that the Water Aid, the PSI, and other partners. And thanks to the Honorable, you know, for taking ownership of this process. Until we can take ownership, we can achieve the sustainable development goal. I'm grateful for this opportunity.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you very much for giving us the time, and then we look forward to you. If we do some of the tour that, you know, make sure I let the LWS here to be aware that you know, be one of our information ambassador to the sector, so that we can work along. So I want to say thanks to you and thanks to the management. I want to say hats off to our people in Plibo, you know, for giving us the opportunity to come and represent at the level of the national legislature. Thank you very much.
Okay, Plibo Sodican District Representative Anthony Williams is also the chair on the House Committee on Water, Sanitation, Hygiene, and Environment. You earlier heard the voice of Timothy Kwe. He's the head of the WASH Legislative Caucus Secretariat, bringing us to the end of this edition of the Bumper Show. Tomorrow, and a abbreviated edition of the program will be on your radio till that time. My name is Chap Davis, wishing you all the best from Painesville. Good evening and bye-bye for now.